Universal patinas. In this video, we're going to show off the universal patinas. Now, universals require heat, which means that we need to get this metal up to about 180 to 200 degrees. I have a piece of aluminum down to sit on it, just so it doesn't pick up some of the oxide that is currently plaguing my patina stand here. It really doesn't play a whole lot of matter because I'm actually working with the top section, so the heat's going to be drawn into it, but I'm just going to work with it. So about 180 to 200 degrees is where you need it to be. You can see it kind of steam off just a little bit, and that's perfect. If it kind of puddles up and doesn't really steam off, then you actually aren't hot enough. And if you spray it on and like it balls up and shoots off, you're too hot. Same thing, if you spray it on and it looks like it didn't really do anything, you're too hot. So let it cool down, try again. You can also test this with water, just a little bit of distilled water, and same thing, it should just mist right off. In some areas, you'll see that it does puddle up a little bit. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but we do get a little bit more of the universal patina buildup, so it's just something to be aware with. It's easy to fix if that does happen. Usually I just let it cool down so I can touch it, and then I'll Scotch-Brite a little bit of it off, heat it back up, and then along our merry way we go. So this is the brown universal, and I'm going to get the entire thing this color. Now this is what I would consider a base patina, and my theory behind this was that I wanted it to kind of be a dark reddish brown rose, and that's what I was going for. You'll see later on I actually change my process and the final finish here just because the red was not quite as potent as I was hoping it was going to be out over the top of this brown. So in the future I would actually dilute that brown down with a little bit of distilled water. Here we're going to go with green, and this is just the bog standard green, and this is not diluted, this isn't with white, it's just coming off really this beautiful green. But honestly, for my kind of darker on that side of the range rose, it was too potent for me. So the more I put on, the more earthy green it got, and that's ultimately where I went. I just built up the coats. You can see I'm applying this with a brush. Brush choices does make a big difference. If you go with a synthetic one, it's probably going to start melting on you. But these natural bristle ones, or just in general hair ones, typically will do pretty well. Over time, the heat will destroy your brush, so it's something to keep in mind as well. But I'm using these cheapo ones I picked up at a art supply store anyways. So I don't really mind the heat distorting them and making it so it doesn't have a nice point anymore. So I'm just kind of slopping it on there. I'm not being super technical, other than trying not to get any on the petal leaves. So overall, just warming it up, keeping it at 180. You can see I warm it up right before I go in with more, and then I warm again after I'm done. Overall, as long as you're within that range, you'll be just fine. It works out pretty well. So here we're going to do the underside, and you can see I wasn't quite hot enough. It kind of just rolled right off. But as we apply a little bit more heat, a little bit of color comes out, and then I just go back with more color. So let's talk about why you would use universals. Well, universals are a great option to be able to get the exact color you want. So, much like the smart stains and the dioxides, the universals, you can blend these colors. So if you wanted that really potent light mint green, mix in a little bit of white and you're good to go. And that's what I'll actually do with the red, because I'm going to put the red straight on, and like I said, it's a little too dark. So I mix it with some white, and it popped out, and it kind of gave me this combo between the pink and the red, and I really liked it, so I left with that. Unfortunately, that footage did get lost. So you'll see a little bit of the beginning, but the entirety of the application, unfortunately, it was a camera malfunction, and then we'll skip to the clear coat. So it's the same thing, we just kind of put more on. But ultimately, we can mix the exact color we want. The heat is both a blessing and a curse to some. Heat allows us to move very fast. So this entire process probably took me about 20 minutes to do this whole rose, and that's including cleaning and clear coat, because I can move just as fast as I wanted by using heat. I didn't have to wait for things to react. I didn't have to wait for things to cool down. I just kept on moving along. The only thing I waited for it to cool down for was a clear coat. You really don't want to apply a clear coat at 180 to 200 degrees. So let it cool down to room temperature, then you're good to go. So that's another benefit. I can do a green patina that looks pretty authentic, especially if you keep it on the lighter side and you don't get a lot of buildup. You can get a really authentic looking green patina. Now, metal doesn't typically go red. So there is oxides in these. And that's how we make the universals, is that we take that oxide, we put it into a binder. So heating up the metal, you open up the pores, the colorant goes into it, and then when the metal cools down, it seals in. It's the same concept for the dioxides as well. The biggest difference is that dioxides are a little bit more on the transparent side, and they're a little bit more on the pastel-y side as a general. So the rule doesn't always apply, but as a general, dioxides are more pastel-y. So, universals. Overall, they need heat. They don't really work as well on a cold process unless you're using the metal coatings. Then the metal coatings need to be wet because they can't be heated. So, universals and dioxides are very similar other than the final color and the transparency. Transparency you can also fix with universals by diluting with distilled water. It works just fine. You can dilute it as much as it works for you. So let's compare the universals to smart stains. The universals require heat to work properly on metal, whereas the smart stains can use heat, but they do not require it. So the universals must be done with heat, while smart stains are an optional heat applied. The universals come in a lot of different colors. The smart stain offers more choices. But you can combat that when using the universals by just mixing your own color, right? So if you don't have a violet, you can mix it with blue and red. And so those options are available to you as well. Otherwise, the smart stains and universals I find are fairly compatible as far as color-wise. I do really recommend diluting the smart stains, whereas universals, you can basically use them full strength, but can dilute depending on what you want it to achieve. Smart stains I usually need to dilute. There are a lot of different ways to heat up your metal. Some people choose to heat their metal in an oven. Some people will choose to use a heat gun. I use a torch. I find that ovens can be a little tricky. If you heat it up to 180 to 200 degrees in your oven, you actually need to heat it up a little bit more. So say you have to heat it up to 250, take it out, get it to where you want a patina, and then it's cooling all that way through. So that's something you definitely need to keep in mind. If you're doing this at home or something along those lines, think about how much it's going to cool on your way to where you can patina. The other thing is a heat gun. Heat guns don't really get quite hot enough to maintain 180 to 200 easily. So while, yes, they do work, and it just takes a little bit more time, I prefer to use a propane torch. I find that oxyacetylene will actually make it a little more dirty looking, so propane is what I use. And I use this for all of my hot patinas. Same with when I'm using traditional hot patinas like cupric nitrate. I use a propane torch. The last thing I like to point out with the universals is that it's somewhat of a soft patina. Now, a soft patina in my words are basically patinas that if you rub your fingers over the top of it, it actually comes off a little bit. So rust would fall into this category as well. So universals, you definitely want to seal in. The same can be said for basically all of our products. Most of our products we recommend a sealer, but the universals you definitely want to seal it in to help protect it. A lot of people will try and use wax, but I find that the abrasion will actually pull some of that finish off as well. So I always like to do ClearGuard or Everclear, something that I can spray on and not agitate the surface. Here, this is where we're applying the red and white combination of our universals. And it was probably about 3 parts red to 1 or 2 parts white. I didn't actually measure it out. I just kind of dumped it in, mixed it, and yep, that color will work for me. So I don't have an official read on that one. But overall, this is about all of that application you're going to see, because again, we had that camera fault, and this is all the colorant you're going to see. But we just did the same thing all around it. So why choose universals? Well, universals allow opportunity to get the exact color you want in a fast application. So this has been a fan of foundries for a while because speed is always a thing. So we can get a red on steel, a green on steel, and not have to worry about any chemical reaction. I know exactly the color it's going to be because it's the same basic color that's in my cup or my spray bottle, and it's not going to change on me. But you can see that I can get depth and natural looking colors despite it being a red and a green on steel. So this is our ClearGuard going over the top of it, and we just give it a couple good passes. Again, we let this cool down to room temperature so it wouldn't just burn off before it can actually adhere. And we're going to flip it and do the other side as well, making sure that we get a couple good coats, and we're going to come back and do a second coat as well once everything dries. And here we have our final universal patina rose, and we use the brown, the green, the red mixed with a little bit of white. Universal patinas are available at www.sculptnouveau.com or by calling us at 760-432-8242.